Now, there are several other states still processing ballots this morning that could sway this election one way or another.
Could take days for all of these ballots to be processed, which can be confusing as we try to understand the results right now. So we have UW political science professor Mike Wagner with us yet again this morning to talk more about what's happening, especially in Wisconsin right now. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for joining us again.
Good morning. It's my pleasure.
So I want to ask you right away, you know, this breaking news, 20,000 votes now have Biden up across the state as we get results in from Green Bay, specifically the entire county of Brown. Also Kenosha, you know, where does the Trump campaign have the opportunity to pick up votes at this point?
Well, their options are a little bit less than they were the last time we spoke. But, you know, Dunn County, as far as I can tell, still has about 7% of the vote to come in. I think Eau Claire County has about 7% of the vote to come in. And so there are a few pockets around the state where we don't have virtually everything counted, but that's what we do. We count all of the votes. It's going to take some time. That can be frustrating and anxiety producing in a very close race, but this is normal. The counting of votes is normal, and that's what's happening right now.
In some states like Nevada and Pennsylvania, counting has stopped. They kind of put things on hold for the night, and they're going to pick back up later this morning. How long, in your best guess, do you think it's going to take to tally all these absentee ballots?
I think it will take longer in Pennsylvania. There are so many early ballots and they have to be opened, which just takes time for humans to do that and then process them to make sure that they're legitimately cast and then count them and then report that count. And so it could be a day, it could be a couple of days for Pennsylvania. It's hard to predict that with accuracy. What we can predict with accuracy is they'll count all of the votes and they'll tell us what happened once they've counted all of them. That's not super satisfying from a, gee, I want to know it now perspective, but it's very satisfying from a how healthy of a democracy are we living in perspective.
Yeah, that is very important right now, that patience piece, right? We were talking earlier about how important it is to wait, how candidates can't declare victory at this hour until all of these votes have been counted.
That's exactly right. Candidates do not get to pick whether they won or lost. It's about the vote count and the official certifications thereof. And so if either the president or the former vice president declare victory, we should not worry about that. We should worry about the counting of votes in the states that are still remaining.
All right, one last question before we let you go, Mike. What are the candidates' easiest paths to victory right now?
That's a good question. Biden has more paths to victory. So if he holds on in Wisconsin and wins Nevada as we imagine that he will, then Biden can win with either Michigan or Pennsylvania or Georgia. Any one of those, holding everything else as it is, would be enough for Biden to win. Trump basically needs to win everything remaining on the table, but it's possible. He has the lead in many of these states for the count that's occurred so far, and so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
All right, Mike Wagner, we thank you for your time, for sacrificing a little bit more sleep for us this morning. We'll see you soon.
My pleasure.